Basically, what I wanted to do today is I've been watching videos lately um, relating to a couple situations that I've been in the past. And I wanted to share with you guys today my experience of being homeless. It's not something I talk about with too many people, but I have been on the streets before. I know exactly how hard it is. I know what it's like to be up there and you don't have anybody you can rely on. You just have yourself, your equipment, and you're basically afraid for your life every day that this could be the day you're going to die. Uh, Basically, to all my buddies out there still on the street, stay strong, guys. You're gonna make it. And to those who didn't, well, I remember you guys. You were good. Uh, yeah, basically, the way I ended up on the streets is I was young, I was stupid, um, I was in love again. That's seems to be the way it works for most people. Um, Basically, I'd been talking to this girl for about a year, um, and she had asked me to come up and see her. So I decided that I would. I made plans. I thought I had everything arranged in the correct manner. But when I finally did get to where I was going, I ran out of money. I couldn't find any place to stay. So I ended up on the street. Um, I was one of the lucky few that actually managed to get into a shelter, but before that, I was uh, relying on people that I'd met up there. I was, as we call it, couch surfing. Basically, I was just going from one place to the next, asking if I could stay the night there. That was it. Um, there was one guy who is a very good friend of mine now. His name, well, we'll just call him Brandon for this case because I don't know if he wants his name out there or not. Um, he let me stay with him for about a month, um, and there were some issues that arose with various places that was helping him out as well. So I had to leave. I was lucky enough to find a shelter that would take me that very same day. But yeah, the place I was at was actually in Minnesota. It was the middle of winter. There were 3 or 4 blizzards that came through during that time, and I was fairly sure a couple of those days I was going to freeze to death, and I came close to it a couple of times. Uh, Now I know a lot of people will say that being homeless is a choice. In some cases, yes. In others, no, it's not. It really isn't. It's forced on you sometimes. In my case, it was just bad planning. It was most likely my fault. But, you know, if you actually do go on the streets and you manage to get off of it, it changes you in a way that's in ways that you never would have imagined. I mean, it humbles you to know exactly how hard it is in this country if you are one of the unlucky few that ends up having to live on the streets, having to go through fucking dumpsters to get food. Basically, you're relying on handouts. And eventually, those handouts stop coming, and you have to find some way to support yourself. Some people turn to crime, some turn to uh, some actually go out and they get themselves jobs and they get off the street like I did. But in my case, it was a little bit more difficult because there weren't too many jobs around in the city that I was in. Uh, Basically, I was stuck. I mean, I couldn't save up enough cash to get back to Indiana where I was from. That's where my family is. But luckily, I'm back here now. I've got a full-time job. I'm supporting myself. I've rented out the guy's basement here. He's a very nice guy. Uh, yeah. Basically, a couple of tips if you are out there or if you just got put onto the street. Try and find somebody that will help you out and show you the ropes because you won't last very long if you don't. I was lucky enough to have several buddies up there in Minnesota that showed me what I needed to do, where I needed to go, and basically, if I ever have to go back on the street again, I will be able to survive it. It's just I wouldn't know for how long because recently it happened again, but that time was purely my choice because I was trying to move out of my mom's house, and the only way I knew to do that was to go to a different city, get back on the street, find a job, and get an apartment. That's basically been my strategy, and it has worked out very well for me. Um, if you are on the streets here in Evansville, you probably have seen me before. You know my face. You've seen me down at the mission. Um, Anyone who is thinking of coming to Indiana that's on the street, Evansville is a good place. You just want to avoid the south side. Gets kind of rough down there. There's been some stabbings lately. Police go down there all the time. They patrol regularly. Um, of course, they won't go into the place unless they roll in 10 deep. So, yeah. A couple good places to stay here in Evansville if you are homeless. There's the United Caring Shelter. It's downtown along with the Evansville Rescue Mission, which is also downtown. They're good places. The mission is a little strict. Well, they're extremely strict because they're a Christian-based organization. They do require you to attend services before and after your meals. Now, I did stay there for a little bit. I'm not religious myself, so there were some issues that occurred there. Um, Thankfully, those have since been sorted out. So if I ever do need to go back there again, I always have the option. If you do go there yourself, just make sure you follow the rules, and you'll be perfectly fine. As far as the United Caring Shelter, I haven't actually stayed there myself, but I hear it's okay. They have a day shelter where you can go during the daytime, get your clothes washed, get a shower, get a hot meal. Um, and they do have a night shelter that opens up for new admission every Thursday, or it's either Thursday or Friday, one of the two. And you have to be there around 7 p.m. Make sure you're the first in line, otherwise you're probably not going to get in. There's and if you can't get into a shelter, there are some camps here in Evansville. They're down by the river. I'm not sure their exact locations, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. I never actually looked for them myself. Personally, I'm not a fan of sleeping outside, but that's just me. Um, Granted, I will do it if I have to, but I really try to avoid it. Couple other places. There's a whole lot of places here in town that you can go and get a free meal. There's the Christian Life Center. There's the Salvation Army. They're always good. They've helped me out so much, and I owe them my life. So I try and help them out as much as I can. Um, yeah, if you're ever down in Evansville, those are a few good places to go stay. Um, Other than that, yeah, I might tell you a little bit more about what went on there, but that'll be at a later date. Anyway, till next time, guys. See you later.